In a world that's just constantly buzzing with notifications and, let's be honest, pretty abstract challenges, there's this quiet power in just getting your hands dirty. Today, we're going to dig into how engaging with the physical world, fixing things, building stuff, isn't just a handy skill to have. It's actually a way to forge the mental strength and resilience that we all desperately need to handle the pressures of modern life.
Okay, so let's just dive right in with a super simple scenario. Imagine something in your house breaks. Maybe it's a wobbly chair, a car that won't start, a leaky pipe under the sink. What is your absolute first instinct? That moment, that choice you make right there, that's at the very heart of everything we're going to talk about.
You see, for so many of us, especially a lot of young men today, we've been conditioned to respond in one very specific way. Just offload the problem. We live in an age where we outsource everything, not just our chores, but our thinking too. And really, that brings us to these two fundamental paths. The first one, that's the default route, right? Call somebody, scroll through Google, find a quick fix online. And look, it's efficient, for sure. But that second path, the one where you actually own the problem, where you stop and you observe and you engage directly with what's so difficult, well, that's the path that builds something way more valuable than just a repaired object.
I mean, just think about your own life for a second. In our digital jobs, in our online interactions, what does success even mean? It's so murky. Did that presentation go well? Was that project a real success? This constant ambiguity, it's really psychologically stressful. We're left guessing where we stand, and over time, that just eats away at our sense of competence.
So, what's the alternative? Well, it's really a shift in your whole mindset. It's about framing the ability to solve a physical problem not as some kind of innate talent you either have or you don't. It's about seeing it as a conscious decision, a philosophy that you choose to live by. And this idea, it reframes stubbornness in such a powerful way. When you see a problem and you decide to stay with it, to just not back down, that's not just you being hard-headed. It's an active choice. It's you deciding to believe that problems will yield if you apply enough focused effort. And that belief, right there, that is the philosophy.
And when you start living this philosophy, it creates this profound bias toward direct experience. You start to trust what your own senses are telling you more than what some expert claims. You get skeptical of people who talk with incredible confidence about things they've never actually touched or tried to fix themselves. You learn the massive difference between theory and cold, hard reality.
So how does this actually start to rewire your brain? I mean, how does it work? Well, this whole approach builds a completely different kind of knowledge. It's one that isn't learned from a book, but is built, quite literally, from the ground up.
Man, this is such a powerful concept. When you work with your hands, you build an understanding that's, well, it's intuitive. It's a feel for the system. If you ask an experienced mechanic how he knew what was wrong with your car, he might just shrug and say, it just sounded off. He's not trying to be vague. He's reporting a form of knowledge that his hands and his ears have that just can't be easily put into a sentence.
And there's actually a term for this in psychology. It's called embodied cognition. It's this idea that your body, your hands, your senses, they're all part of your thinking process. The knowledge you get from wrestling with a physical thing gets stored in your muscles and your nerves. It's just a deeper, more integrated way of understanding the world.
And all of this leads to the ultimate psychological payoff. When you consistently solve physical problems, you develop what's known as an internal locus of control. It's this deep-seated, core belief that your actions and your effort are what determine what happens, not fate, not luck, and not what other people decide for you.
But here's the most important part. This kind of confidence, this sense of agency, it's not some personality trait you're just born with. No way. It is forged, and every single time you fix something that was broken, you are laying another brick in the foundation of this powerful belief in yourself.
Okay, so let's get practical. How do you actually do this? What does it really take to stay with a problem when every single instinct in your body is screaming at you to just give up and call for help?
First off, you have to cultivate patience. And this isn't about just sitting around waiting. It's an active process. You have to observe the system with all your senses. You have to respect the fact that physical reality has rules. You can't hack it, you can't skip steps, and probably most importantly, when that wave of frustration hits, and it will, you have to learn to just sit with it. Don't walk away. Because that moment of peak frustration, it's usually right before breakthrough.
And this highlights a huge difference between then and now. In a world of endless online tutorials, we've lost something vital. This kind of knowledge was traditionally passed down through presence, not explanation.
You learned it by watching, by being handed the right tool at the right moment, without a word. What was really being transmitted wasn't just a technical skill, it was a whole relationship to difficulty itself.
So why does all of this matter so much, especially right now? Let's connect these physical actions to the ultimate payoff, building a stable internal sense of confidence that can actually weather the storms of this uncertain world we live in.
This contrast right here is so incredibly important. The digital world gives us this constant, ambiguous feedback. We're always left wondering, was that good enough? But the physical world, it's absolute. An engine that was sputtering and is now running smoothly doesn't care about anyone's opinion. It either works or it doesn't, period.
And that clarity is more than just satisfying, it's stabilizing. For a mind that is just worn down by subjective feedback day in and day out, engaging with a bounded problem, like fixing a bike or changing the oil in your car, is a powerful psychological reset. It's a way to reclaim your focus and rebuild your sense of control in a small, manageable arena.
And look, the urgency here really can't be overstated, with research showing that a massive majority of young men who are struggling with their mental health won't ever talk about it or ask for help. Finding these kinds of alternative paths to build resilience is absolutely critical. We need ways to build strength that don't always rely on talking it out.
And this quote really gets to the true purpose of it all. When someone who's feeling totally overwhelmed by life goes into the garage to work on an old engine, they are not running away from their problems. They are making a strategic retreat into a world with clear rules and verifiable outcomes. And in doing so, they are restoring the very part of themselves they need to face those larger, messier life challenges.
Because ultimately, the goal was never just to fix the machine. It was to use that machine to forge a different kind of self, one that carries a quiet confidence, a resilience against all that ambiguity, and a deeply held belief that if you just stay with a problem long enough, it will, eventually, give way.
And so that really leaves us with a final thought to take away. This isn't about whether you're a mechanic or a carpenter. The real question is this: where in your life have you built a space, a workshop, a garden, a project, where your effort has a direct consequence and the world gives you a clear, honest answer? Because finding that space, that might just be the key to navigating everything else.